There it goes. Okay. So, so today for the call, I want to just remind you guys, because y'all have already heard this, but I'm just telling everybody else. So my vision now is to bring in all of our challengers to a weekly call together so that we can have community, because the app is, to me, very distant, very like computerized. I just feel there's not a lot of connection on the app because people can't hear your voice. It's kind of a weird thing. So I wanted to start having just little motivational chats and an opportunity for everyone to ask questions and just be encouraged before our team call. And so basically I'm just going to allow about 30 minutes. So that may mean we can only take a few questions, but I don't want to go into very long with these motivational talks for the challengers. But today I wanted to talk to both groups of people. So I'll just kind of talk a little bit about both, but I listened to the National Wake Up Call. Let me just pull up the podcast so I can tell you which one it was, but it was 2 weeks ago, and the podcast was Teresa Hansen. So the Team Beachbody podcast, I don't know if you can see that. It looks like this. So you have to download the podcast app. And then I have several other podcasts on there, but that's the easiest, quickest way to get on the National Wake Up Call. And you guys know I have shared with you before that you need to have a calendar of your personal development. Like, you need to have it scheduled out. And so on your calendar, you need to say, on Monday, I'm going to listen to this podcast. On Tuesday to this podcast, or I'm going to do this 10 pages of this reading on Monday. I'm going to do 10 pages of this audio book on. You have to have it planned out. So if you're reading a book, so for instance, one of my newer books I'm about to read is More About Us. So I'm going to be reading this book soon. And so what I need to do is, on my calendar, I need to say, okay, on November the 1st, I'm going to read the first 10 pages of this book. Like, that's planned out, done. But it needs to be, you got to plan it out for the whole month. So one of your things that needs to be a no matter what is your National Wake Up Call. Because, guys, they go into what's on sale. They go into what's new, up and coming. They go into everything on that. So it's so important to get on that call. And if you want to fast forward through all the chit chat before you get to the speaker, just fast forward. Don't feel guilty. Just do it. If you only have 20 minutes, 10 minutes, just fast forward and get to the speaker. I do it all the time because I'm like, I only have 15 minutes, and like, I just want to hear what they got to have to say. So don't feel guilty. Just get it done. So you'll, the National Wake Up Call. So I listened to this girl, Teresa, and she's been in the business for a long time, and she struggled for a long time, and she didn't make the connection for a long time of like, what is different about me and these successful coaches? Like, there's a magic something. They're doing something. They have a secret. They're not sharing the secret. Like, what is it? Because she was doing it for a long time. I think she's been in the business for 8 years. So it took her a while. And finally, she connected the dots. And what she found was, there's no secret, and everyone will tell you this. Really, there is a secret. And what that secret is vision. If you don't have a vision for your life, I'm not talking about Beachbody, because we have to remember Beachbody is just a way we're going to get to our vision, our dream. It's just this awesome avenue that God's put into our life to get us to our dream, our vision. Because I know for me as a nurse practitioner, that sure as heck is not going to get me to my vision. It's not. And it was very clear after having my 2 kids of like, this ain't going to happen. Like, first of all, it's not going to bring in the income that I need to like own land and to minister to other people, to give gifts to people that like, it's not going to do what my dream and my heart is to do. So Beachbody is just a way for us to live out our vision. But before we even talk about Beachbody and that, what I wanted to talk about first is what is your vision for your wellness journey? When I say wellness journey, I'm talking about your spiritual health, your mental health, your physical health, like the health of your family, the health of your marriage. Where is that vision? What vision do you have for your life in those areas? So if I were you, I would just jot those things down. what is my vision for my wellness, for my health? And to me, all of that, like your marriage, your finances, all of that is umbrellaed under health. Because really, if you're struggling financially, isn't it going to impact the rest of your life? If your marriage is struggling, isn't that going to impact other parts of your life? If your health is like your weight loss, your weight is where you don't want it, isn't that going to impact your relationships and impact other things? I think it is. And so my biggest thing, and that's what I wanted to talk to our challengers about today, is what vision, if you could close your eyes and say, in 30 days, I would give anything to be there. What is that? What would your body look like? What would your finances look like? What would your spiritual life look like? What would your emotional health look like? What would it look like? If you could just close your eyes for a second and think, okay, this is what I want. This is where I want to be in 30 days. What does that look like? And actually write it out. You may have to talk it out for a second, like be that crazy person in your bathroom, like, okay, I want to have this, I want to have this, like whatever it looks like for you, but it needs to go on paper. Because to me, one of the things I asked for my birthday, and I'm so excited, and hopefully I will get it, but it's a book called Dream It, Pin It, Live It. And it is about creating vision for every part of your life, putting it on paper and literally looking at it every day and speaking truth over it. I want to have land. I'm going to have land. I'm going to have horses on that land. I'm going to have my dream home on that land. I'm going to invite people to my home to love on them, to minister to them, to care for them. That's what I want to do on that land. God, it's going to happen. And I see us at this big table, like, for your weight loss. Okay, I see that I can fit into that size 6 pants that I haven't been able to fit in for 3 months. I see I have energy. I'm happy and I'm playing with my kids. I see that I've helped 7 people this month see that they can be a better mom and see that they can have a better life. Like, literally, guys, we have to have a vision or we will get lost in the monotony of what we have to do every day to get to that vision. I think that's why so many people don't have the confidence in themselves to even get to lose 10 pounds and believe that they can do it. And better yet, to live a dream. Because you don't have a vision. For me, the longest time Beachbody was, I just want to quit my job. I just want to be home more with my kids. But that's not enough. Like, that's not enough. All that's going to do is make me bitter towards myself, towards the business, towards the people I bring on board, towards everything, because quitting my job or leaving my job cannot be the vision. So tell me if that makes sense. Like, talk to me. Does that make sense of like truly closing your eyes for a second and saying, what do I want in 30 days? What do I want in 6 months? What do I want? How do I want my life to look in 10 years? Does that make sense? Do you feel like if you were able to literally put it on paper to say, I want to have a confidence like I've never had in 30 days. I want to feel closer to the Lord in 30 days. I want to feel more attracted to my husband in 30 days. I want to feel better about my motherhood in 30 days. Like, if you could write out what that looks like to you. So I think the way you start that is, what do you want? What do you really want? And then once you decide what you want out of your wellness journey, do you want to pay off debt? Do you want to feel connected to your husband? Do you want to lose 10 pounds? Like, whatever you want, you have to know what you want. And then once you have what you want, guess what? There's your vision. You have it. You just wrote out, I want to feel more connected to my husband. I want to like selflessly compliment him, and I want for him to start loving me the way that I need to be loved. I want to daily get into the word with the Lord. And so in 30 days, I want to feel more connected to the Lord. Well, if you have this vision, then you have to make steps to get to your vision, right? Because you can't like say, all right, Lord, I got it written there. I know I want that. And now I just need you to bring it to me. No, that's not how this life works. Like, can God do miracles? Yes, we know he can do miracles. And matter of fact, he has a plan bigger and better than you can even imagine. And this is what I'm learning. I'm like, okay, God, like I know I want these things. And if I get that, that's going to be magnificent. But to think that he actually has a plan that's bigger and wilder than what I can even comprehend blows my mind. So you have to have a vision. So what I am going to do, because I have two of you guys on here, you kind of heard me. I'm telling you kind of what my vision is, right? Like my vision for my wellness journey is to have a be more spiritually connected every 30 days, that I don't worry about the number on the scale. I don't worry about how I look in the mirror, but I feel a peace knowing that I did all I could do and that it's not all about that outward appearance, and knowing that God's going to take care of that. Like that size 6 that I really want to fit into, I'll fit into it. And matter of fact, I have. I didn't feel, there's some parts of the month where I'm like, I don't feel good. I don't feel like I want to look better. I want to, but like all those physical things are going to happen if we get our heart and our mind right. And so for me, that's been my prayer for myself, is that in the 30 days after I'm doing a program, is to just feel confident in who I am, knowing that I did all that I could do, and not harping on what I could have done, should have done, would have done, like all that craziness. So for me, that part of my wellness journey is just to live 80-20, do the best I can, and truly live in confidence that I did the best I can. And I know that I have the tools to help other people do the best they can. That's what my wellness journey is about, basically. And then my business journey, man, you're hearing it. Like I have more solidification of what my purpose is than ever before, because I've searched. So when you guys are like having trouble of what is my real purpose with this whole Beachbody thing? What is my real purpose with, like, what does God want to do with this? Well, I thought mine was basically fitness driven. Like, you love fitness, you love to coach, like this is all up your alley, right? But really, like, that's not what God wanted to do with this business for me. And I asked, like, God, why did you ask me to leave my career? Like, I went through school, you literally changed grades on my test, because I know I failed a lot more than I did. Like, you literally said, I want you to be a nurse practitioner, and made that thing happen, right? So why do you ask me to leave this? Like, what? Obviously, I don't, my heart is not there right now, because I'm seeing another vision for myself, but I know why he had me do it. So that I could live the life that you guys live, like live the life that other healthcare moms live, like the grunt work of the long hours, feeling disconnected from your family, feeling like you don't have time for yourself, being hard on yourself, living in a depressed anxiety state because you just are out of control. You don't feel like you've got it all together. That was me, like to the T, exactly where I lived. And literally up until 6 months ago was still living that life. Even though I was coaching and I knew that this is what God wanted me to do, I had not really connected the dots. And so for me, my vision has been community, a sisterhood. I don't have sisters. April, you've heard this over and over. Like, I know God put me in this coaching opportunity because he wanted me to have community for the rest of my life. He knows I need it. He knows I need accountability. He knows I need people who will speak truth into me and say, Chanel, snap out of it. That's not who you are. We're going to change that around. Like, I need that. And so that's what coaching has done for me. And so my bigger vision is that community, that motivated group of women who also need community, and then be able to minister to other medical moms. Like, that's why I believe I was able to go through school. So I have this bigger vision now of us moving to land somewhere, of having a large property to be able to bring people to that property and minister to them. I had this vision of medical moms, single medical moms, moms who are struggling to make ends meet even though they're in healthcare, or they just need a refresher with life, like being able to pour into and love on other medical moms who need it. Like, that's what my vision has become. And it's going to take work from my husband to do that, right? Like, he was in sports medicine. Like, he gets it. He knows all that. But it's going to take a partnership. But it's going to take Beachbody to financially fuel that. So think about that for just a second. The things I'm telling you are wild dreams. Wild. Like, I have this house and this pond, like, literally sitting here in front of me on my vision board. It's here. It's there. Like, I see that and I'm like, God, like, that's crazy. Like, I don't deserve that, but I know you want to give that to me. And I know you're going to give that to me because I know I'm going to be able to use it for your glory. And Beachbody's going to have to do that for me. Like, Beachbody's going to have to do it. As far as this avenue, like, God's the one's going to give the money in the account, right? He's the one that's going to do that. But when I say vision, that's what I'm talking about. Guys, when I started putting those pieces together and put it down on paper and, like, put it on this board and, like, that's what I'm working for. That's what I want for my family. That's what I'm going to get. Only with God's help, of course. But, like, you got to have a vision. You got to have some sort of vision. So just because I love y'all and you know I'm going to challenge you a little bit, like, I want to hear from y'all. You just heard my piece. And don't get intimidated or worried or scared or anything. Like, this is just you playing around with this. There's no strings attached here. There's no, like, nothing. This is just fun, and this is, like, getting you thinking a little bit. And I know that there's going to be other coaches that are going to jump on and listen to this later. So I want you to just start sharing, like, where do you see your health and your family's health in 30 days? And then where would you dream, like, great, crazy dream of your family being in 10 years? Like, I want to hear from y'all. So whoever wants to go first, you can, but it's no pressure. It's just fun. Like, what do you see? Like, go for it.
Okay. So with my husband, of course, I'd like to be closer to him, just like you said, just so we can have a better and stronger relationship, and really with God too. We first got together, we were very, very close in the Lord. And then as, you know, life has gone on and we had 3 children, we kind of distance ourselves from the Lord. So I would love that to be back really close again. Debt free, of course. I'd like to be out of debt. My kids, I would really like to see them doing, like my son for sure, doing a little bit better in school. I envision that. I feel struggles with that right now. I just want to help him more. And of course, I would always like to be closer to God as well. That's what I strive for every day. And like I guess to me, my big thing is really, I feel like I have a lot of things that I kind of want now, you know, with a nice home, and really honestly, I would like to see a big, beautiful pool in our backyard, and just a lovely area that, you know, exactly what you said too, I can have bike friends over and share, you know, that area and that part of my life with them as well. Those are the things that come to my mind.
Okay. No, that's awesome. So from that there, you can start writing those out and say, okay, what's going to help me get there? Is it going to be, for instance, what stood out to me were 2 different things. One was you said your son and you want him to do better in school. Well, what would that take? Like, would it take you not working? Would it take you hiring a tutor? Would it take you, like, what does that look like? Those are just me, like, randomly throwing out stuff, but, like, only you know that. But what could the business help provide for you to help meet that need? So that's kind of how you could look at that. And then the pull. Well, clearly, like, if you help enough people and you dish money into a savings account, like, that money could get there in 6 months and be like, okay, here's the cash. Like, let's put in a pool before next summer. Like, to me, that's a tangible way that the business could help you. And that's exactly what this is about. Like, you putting it on paper. And I'm going to turn this around so y'all can see for just a second. But you see my house up there in that, like, lake? It's at the very top. I don't know if you can see it. But I'm going to revise that soon because there's more. There's more that's got to go up there. But so for your poll and for, like, a couple holding hands, like a vivid picture of, like, you and your husband, even if you were to take a picture of y'all holding hands one night and then don't even tell him what that's for, and, like, stick it up on your vision board and say, that's what I want, that's what I'm working towards, just to, like, have that and solidify that in your heart, and then see it every day of, like, okay, that's why I got to invite a couple more people, because to me, that's going to build confidence in me and make me stronger and make me want to work towards my marriage more. Or if that means I need Beachbody to pay for counseling, like for us, me and my husband, like that's what that was. Like we needed help, and I needed Beachbody. Like we had to do that. And so thank God we did. I mean, and so, you know what I'm saying? Like connecting those little small details of how the business could actually help you do that. And even if the money's not coming in, the fact that you are now in a community of people who are telling you, you better get your marriage right, you better work on that, to me, that's worth it. That's worth being a coach, because if you're working on yourself, even if the money part is not coming in yet, that's what this is about. It's about being better. So yes, I am looking forward to seeing your board, April. Getting those things on a board, because man, it's just when I've started making these connections, I'm like, that's what that means. Like I love being crafty and I love making a board, like that's cool and all, but like to really say, God, you want that for me, like you want that, and I don't deserve it in that sense, but God wants that. Why wouldn't he want those things for us? It's not about having a big home and a land for my good. It's about sharing that for his glory, and say, this is what I want to do for your glory, to help minister to other people. Like that's what I want out of this. So that pull, like saying, okay, God, if you give me this pull, I am dedicating 1 day a week to have other moms over here to do a devotion around my pull, because it's your pull. I am like there's just a different connection to me there. So thank you for sharing. That was an awesome, perfect one. All right, Joni, your turn.
Oh boy. Let's see. I am definitely working on the confidence building, like myself, working on me, doing the self devotion or doing the devotion and personal growth. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Personal growth. Just muddling through the next month of orientation, like surviving it, and then getting on with my regular schedule. I was making a little note here on what to put on my vision board. I think that's a great idea. Like just staying connected with family. I feel like I haven't spent much time with my kids lately, so that's like a huge one for the end of November, is to take that time, like even the hour in the morning before they go to school, get up, take that time with them, go back to bed if I need to, which I did today because my husband told me I was a hot mess. So that kind of stuff. Definitely work on helping other people and sharing more of what I'm doing with others, like helping people by sharing. So that's a big one for me. I'm kind of a coward.
I don't think you're a coward at all. I think so often we are just fearful. Like we have this underlying fear that we don't even know why a lot of times. Like even for me, this fear of failure that I've lived under, I didn't even recognize it as that. Like I didn't understand. Like, no, I'm a hard worker. I'm open. But there was this underlying thing of afraid that I wasn't going to be all that I proclaimed. Like for instance, I put out, like, people know I'm a coach, like, but for me, I was like, but what if I don't make it? What if I'm not good enough? What if I don't do, like, that's like this embedded thing that Satan kept, like, well, what if you're not good enough? What if you don't do? What if you have to quit coaching because it just doesn't make sense? Like, that's Satan. That is so flippin' Satan. Like, it's not, that's not God's vision for us. So you are not alone, Joni. You are not. And I think that you're in the most perfect place to surrender to the Lord, because you have so much going on, and that's where he wants us. Like, and that's where it's the hardest, because I know I don't like to be out of control. Matter of fact, I like to like whip it all back in and say, oh no, I'm going to take back that control. But what God's teaching me is like, that's not our place. It's not our place. And when we do try to reel it all back in, then we've left him out. And so I'm learning, like, grace. I'm talking a lot about grace this week in my live videos, because honestly, it's that moment when we are out of control and we want to fight for that control, that grace has to come in. And God has to say, sister, like you can't. You're exhausted. You don't have any more to give. And if you do try to give more, yeah, it might go good on paper or whatever, but it didn't get you any closer to freedom or to stress-free life, or like all these things you're working towards. You just kept preventing that from happening. So I love where you're at. And even though it's like a wilderness, it's like stinks because you feel like you're not connected with your kids. And but man, you are in such a unique place for God to like give you this that you can't get from anything else. So I love that you've recognized that and you're working on you and your heart and your mind. And then when you said with your kids, like if you feel disconnected with your kids, what can you do? And you just said, I'm just going to have to sacrifice and get up a little early with them so that I can hug on them and love on them and listen to them talk to me. And that may mean I lose a little sleep, but man, like that is going to be valuable time for you and for them, mostly for you because they probably won't remember, but for you to feel like I did all I could do, like, and I can rest in that and do all I can do. But what I would challenge you with, Joni, is to like literally write out what your ideal day would look like. And even April, you could do this too. Like, what would your ideal dream day look like? And I know for me, I work. I don't mind working, but I don't want to work for 8 hours. I don't want to work for 8 hours. I don't even really want to work for 6. Like my ideal work day is for me to work 4 hours. And I want to get in a closet like I am now. I want to go all in, do all that I need to do. And I may do a little extra work if I'm on a team call with everyone because, like, that's where my heart is. Like that, but this doesn't seem like work, right? But, like, I only want to work for 4 hours. And when do I want to work? Well, ideally, I want to do that in the morning. I want to have the afternoons to do whatever the heck I want to do. I want to get my workout in early. Like, I am literally living out what I want to do on a lot of days of the week. And that's kind of mind-blowing to me. It's those evening hours when I have to go into the clinic that I don't want to do. Like, no, God, I don't think you want me to do this. But I'm doing it, and I'm thankful that I have that opportunity because there's a reason for it, right? But think about what your ideal day would look like. Would it look like that you got in bed by 10 o'clock every single night so that you could get up by 5:30, spend 30 minutes with the Lord, 30 minutes exercising before your kids even got up. And then when they got up, you like welcomed them with a hug and be like, let's go sit down and have breakfast. Like, am I like this? To me, I'm like, wow, no rushing, no nothing. What? But honestly, like I am working towards that. And I think that once you create that, okay, at lunch, this is what I would like to do. I would like to go have lunch with a friend 3 days a week. Like I would like to go have lunch or coffee with a new prospect of maybe wanting to join the team, and like literally paint it out like what you want your day to look like with your family and including everything in it. And then that's your vision. That's it. It can be as simple as that because it's going to include your fitness. It's going to include having a good, healthy lunch. It's going to include friendship. It's going to include spending quality time with your husband. It's going to include, of course, your dedication time to the Lord. Like it's going to include everything that we already do, right? Except you have a little more control over what you do and when you do it, right? So I hope that's helpful because really that's all this is. Like what coaching is just painting a picture of what you want your life to look like and then working your rear off to get there, working your tail off to get there. And it's not about selling so many challenge packs. It's not about all that jazz. It's about you opening yourself up to allow God to use you and running after and catching that dream that you know is all for Him anyways. And that's just a new perspective I've had. So I don't know, like, is that helpful to y'all? Does it like sound like it's kind of dots are connecting? Because for me, it's like been eye-opening.
Yes, actually, something just came to my mind too, and you were saying it's weird because I think about it all the time. But you're right; sometimes it's just you need someone to help you really, I don't know, to really think about or to bring it out. You know, it's like it's inside you all the time. But like I know it sounds, I don't know, silly or whatever, but I just thought about it too. Is that I usually have to work every Saturday and Sunday night, which I hate because we can't go to church on Sunday, and that's been one of the major things always in my heart that I'd like to maybe just work Sunday nights, maybe work 1 day a week instead of 2 days a week so that Sunday morning we can all go to church as a family. I mean, that's to me, that has been heavy on my heart for a long time, is that I miss that. I miss that so much. And me and Jason, we got married before we had children, promised each other, when we have children, oh yes, we're going to go to church every Sunday. Well, you just, life changes and they have to be in school Monday through Friday. Like, who's going to be with the kids if I'm at work? So I've had to go work every Saturday and Sunday just to pay bills and to make it, which I feel also blessed that the Lord allows that to happen too, that I'm able to be with the kids Monday through Friday. But in my heart is always been weighing so hard is that I want to be in church with my kids and my husband on Sundays.
Yes.
So anyway, I don't know why that just hit me all of a sudden. I was like, yeah. Anyway.
And that is powerful. Like, that is tear-jerking powerful, because that's exactly what this is about. That is it. Like, to me, I think when we literally offer ourselves to the Lord and say, what do you want to do with this? What do you want to do with me? He's going to start putting these little things in our heart. And honestly, April, like, God has been telling me, Chanel, I told you to quit your job 2 years ago. You have not quit your job. I understand that you have to pay your bills. I understand that it doesn't make sense. I understand that it's crazy, but I told you to quit your job because I have something better for you, and you've not trusted me. And that sounds crazy. Does it not sound crazy to y'all? Like, it sounds freaking crazy to me.
Yes and no,
But it's like, and he has been telling me that lately in my heart, like, Chanel, I told you to leave and you have not left yet. You can't work 2 jobs. I can't use you how I want to use you. That's what he's been speaking over me. And of course, I'm like in a panic of like, well, of course, I'll turn my notice in tomorrow. Like, bring it on. But that's like not easy, of course. Like, my husband, I finally told him, because I'm like, here I go again. I have something else crazy to tell you. Like, that's how I live, right? I have these like crazy things that I need to tell you. But I'm like, this is what God's telling me, and I don't know what to do with it. And I know you're going to think I'm crazy again. But no, April, honestly, this is where faith and trust 100% comes in. It doesn't make sense. Like, God gave me a career. He gave me a job that I make good money, where you could live financially secure and be fine. But then God says, but that's not what I want for you, Chanel. I don't want you to be like, I don't want that for you. And so for him to put this on your heart, that he wants you to be, you made a vow, you told God you were going to do that for your children. And so I 100% believe he said, here's your chance. If you will do what all you can do with it and trust me with it, I will make it happen. And is it going to be easy? No. And then that's what I told my husband. I'm like, if I quit, do you think this is going to be easy for the first several months? Absolutely not. It's probably going to be miserable. And there may be months where we're like, how are we going to pay our bills? But that's where God says, I don't want it to make sense. If it makes sense, you did it. If it doesn't make sense, I did it. So, man, I just cannot even tell you, like, that needs to go on your vision board, like a picture of a church. It has to go on your board. Yeah. And it has to be something that you're like heartfelt. I'm going to do whatever I can do.
Just to be there too. I want to, me and Jason both served in the church too. That's how we met each other. And I've always believed that, that I feel like I need to be back in there serving in the church, so.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that is what this is. That is exactly what this is. Like, this Beachbody thing is just a way for us to get back to doing what we know the Lord has called us to do. And even if you can't like serve in the church, but you have a devotion at your house around the pool that God gave you, like, does that not scream ministry? And like,
that would be wonderful.
I mean, oh my gosh, like, I have chill bumps. So I know that this is going to happen. I think that this is life. It's not taking a leap of faith in the business. And I hope that y'all are connecting these dots too, because this is not about, I got to invite 10 more people. I got to like do all these business activities. That's not what this is about. This is about, what you have to do to make money doing the business, but it's not so heavily relying on your responsibility in that. You just do what you can do. You do it consistently and then say, God, okay, I really think you're telling me to cut back to 1 day a week with work. And that's what we're going to do next month. And I'm expecting you to show up. And I think God would say, finally, you did it. Like, I think that's what he would say, because I think that's what he's waiting on me to do, is just do what told me to do.
It's so scary.
It is scary. It is. But so much of our life we try to control. And just like what Joni, you were saying, I mean, we're out of control, but we want to control. So we like don't do certain things because we're afraid it's going to make us feel even more out of control. Like it's just this vicious cycle of our human nature, right? That's us. That's how we are. That's how we're human. That's how we are. But okay, well, I'm not going to keep more of your time, but I felt like this was so powerful. Like it's just been something that I have been digging into myself. And then I listened to that call and I was like, okay, that's what we got to talk about on our team call, because this is just such a big thing for me right now. And I think it's going to change my business, no doubt. It already has. In just this 1 month, guys, I've had like an epic business month in my entire time of coaching, because I finally said, I'm not going to stress anymore. This is not about me. And when the 15th comes and I still haven't hit my success club, it's not about me. And I'm not going to worry. I'm going to tell God to do what he wants to do with this and be fine if I don't hit a number. Just know that I'm doing the best I can. And that's what the business is about. So Joni, I know that you've like, want to take care of yourself and have a hard time like throwing yourself into it. Just know when you're ready, this is what this business is about. Like it's not about those daily activities. And when we get wrapped up in the daily activities, we will fail and feel like we failed over and over and over. And that's how I've lived. And it is about, you need to talk to people because we have a gift, but it's not about those numbers and putting that pressure on yourself. And I would hope that April and all the other coaches who are growing the business would say that I don't put that pressure. Like I don't ever say, you better hit this, you need to do like, no, like clearly we know we need to hit Success Club 5. We know what that means. Like just go do it and don't stress about it if you don't. Like, because to me, that's not what this business is about. So anyways, lots of good stuff coming down the pipe. I'm 100% sure. Like, I can't even believe the stuff that's happening this month. I still am like, God, you're still doing it. Like today with that call, I'm like, you're still doing this. You're still blowing my mind, which is what he wants to do for you.
I'm excited about my cousin joining too, because I mean, I know that she could totally do this, but she doesn't believe in herself yet. But I'm hoping that she will come around to that. I mean, she actually surprised me. She already put it on her own Facebook that she became a coach. And I thought she wasn't even going to do that because she already seemed kind of very leery of it. But then she turned around and did it. So I'm like, already so proud of her. And I just want to help her out too. So
yes. No,
but God brings the right people. He brings the right people in your life. He really does.
Yep. For a reason. And even I have tons of people who were coaches with me at one time and like fell off, or people who were connected with me and then they didn't want to coach because they were worried, and then they'll come back and be like, okay, like I really need that again in my life. Like, let me get back involved. I mean, and that's just, there's a reason. Every single person that he brings into your life, there is a very specific reason. You may not know it, but don't take it for granted. And that's what I'm learning. Don't take these connections for granted, because there is a divine reason for all that. And if you don't believe that, just think about the call that when I was on the call, like this chick I met in the clinic, I didn't talk to her for months. She found me on Instagram and was like, sign me up. And then today I'm like, well, I don't know if you'd be interested. She's like, oh no, I'm going to do that coach thing. Like, I just need to wrap my head around it. And I'm like, what? Okay. Like, it's go time. Like, I'm telling you, God has got this. Like he does, and he's going to put the right people, but we just can't give up on ourselves. We can't give up. And just because we have a bad month or tons of people are saying no, we have to say, okay, God, I've gotten no's every single day, but you have helped me with my confidence to keep going and have that vision. That's when you want to look at your vision board and say, all right, bring it on. Bring on another 50 no's. Like, I'm going there, and that's what's going to happen. But if you don't have it, if you don't have that vision, you can't do that every day. So that's a new perspective. So, okay, well, I'm not going to take up more of your time. So it was a good call. They all missed out. Like, you need to tell everyone when I post this, you need to say, y'all missed out. You needed to be on there.
But hey, everybody that missed it, they can watch this recording though, right? Yes. Even Heather, like Heather can come back and watch this?
Yes. Yeah. So my husband on Wednesday nights, he knows now, like part of his business activities, he helps with all this. I'm like, add that to your list. So he usually will download it to YouTube, and then I'll find it and look for it. And So yes, so it will be available. So you can always go back, and if you need to go back and listen of like, okay, let me remember what she said about that vision. And I will tell you, y'all know this. Like I'm not an expert. All this stuff I'm learning. It's just I'm literally speaking from my heart and what has helping me so much. And I know if it can help me, someone who's a control freak, someone who has doubted every ounce of my being to the core. Like I have doubted my purpose on earth. Like I told y'all last call or 2 calls ago, like I was wanting to commit myself to an institution because I was so in such a dark place that I did not believe I had any reason of being here anymore. Like this is real. Like, so this is not an expert talking. God is changing my heart and my mind in a mighty way. And it's all about vision. It's all about, yes, I do have a purpose and it is for his glory. And I'm not going to stop until I am doing my part every day. Like that's all we can do. So, okay, I'm really done this time. So thank you so much for being on. Joni, I'm so glad to see your face. It's so, so good. And girl, good things are coming. I know it. Like you're doing all the right things, and just be praying for you and your family to get like in a groove, because you're doing all the right things. So hang in there, and thank you so much for getting on.
And Joni, if you want to, you can join me and Heather in the next group if you're not already in a group.
Yeah, you can shoot me an invite.
Okay. I mean, be a coach in the group, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have I have a handful of like friends that we do like a side group, and then
okay.
That's kind of like where I'm starting. But yeah, I could.
You can always just jump in it and see how you like it.
Okay. That sounds good. All right.
Yes. Okay, guys. Y'all have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Okay. Bye.